Hi, and welcome to At-Home Art Lessons with the Art Groupies, where we develop great art habits. We're going to be working with this guy today. His name is Owen. Owen is very observant. He's like that little ant walking across a piece of artwork, and he notices everything. He's going to notice everything today on our weaving, our Kente cloth weaving from Africa. In West Africa, there are two groups of men who weave the Kente cloth. They're the Asante and the U people. And they create these beautiful 4-inch wide pieces of fabric, and they sew those pieces together to make these beautiful cloths. Kente comes from the word Kenton, which means basket. And again, West Africa, Ghana. We're going to start our weaving using line. I'm going to start first with two pieces of paper, an orange and a pink, and I am going to line up my ruler to the edge of those two papers. I'm putting them right on top of one another. And on the other edge of the ruler, I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to then line that ruler up again now with the line I just drew and create another line. We're going to make strips of paper, and these are going to be called the warp. The warp are the strings that run vertically in the Kente weaver's loom. We're going to hold it tightly with our helper hand and cut precisely, or the best we can, right on that line. We want to try to make these pieces exact. Again, the warp of a weaving are the pieces of string that run vertically on a loom. So I used my ruler to make a nice straight line, lined it up on one edge or against the one line, and drew the line on the other side. So we are creating a paper weaving, and the warp runs vertically. We're not going to glue these strips completely down. We're just going to glue the top part of the strips because we're going to weave through the remainder part. So I'm going to line up my strip as best I can, and I'm just gluing the top part. I'm going to line up my next color right next to it the best I can. You don't want to overlap here. You just want to lay them next to one another, and you want to switch up the colors. So orange, pink, orange, pink makes for a better pattern or design in our Kente cloth. You can make your Kente cloth with as many strips as you want. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use 8 strips, and it fills in my white paper just nicely. I'm going to lay another strip right across the top here just to ensure that those strips don't move. So now I need to wait for my warp to dry before I can weave through it. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to use this one. Now I went ahead and cut out some more strips, same exact way. Lined the ruler up and cut right on that line. These are called the weft, and the weft gets woven horizontally, and they go over, under, and they follow that pattern all the way across, and then they go all the way up to the top. I'm going to leave some of that orange there. My next one is going to do the exact opposite. So I started by going over. Now I'm going to go under the orange. Over the pink. Under the orange. Go all the way across. My next color is going to do the opposite. So I finished or started this one by going over. Now I'm going to go under. I'm going to go all the way across. These pieces are called the weft. Now the gentlemen that weave this create these beautiful patterns, and each pattern has a name to it. Sometimes they're named after different kinds of holidays. Sometimes they're named after the people who create them. So it totally depends on the weaver and what type of pattern he would like to create. Each color has a meaning as well as the pattern. For example, this gold that I just wove, gold means royalty and wealth. The green that I'm weaving now means good health. So even the colors have meaning to the weavers of Ghana. Okay, and my last one is going to go over under that pink. And to hold it all in place, I'm going to use another strip and glue it half on and half off like I did up top there. And that will make sure none of these pieces fall out. All right. So again, I'm going to make sure that's lined up. Take my glue, glue half on and half off, the blue and the white, to make sure nothing falls out. I'll use one of these yellow. All right. Now, it doesn't just end here. Now what we are going to create, we're going to create contrast using this black Sharpie. And we're going to give each one of these little squares a different pattern. So we're going to create our pattern in our Kente cloth. Now, as I stated, each pattern has a different type of name. And depending on what pattern or what name you would like to use in your art, depends on what kind of pattern you're going to give each color or space. So I'm going to, in this space, create a circle with a dot in the middle. And I'm going to do that all the way across on just the pink. On the orange, I'm going to give it a different design. You can use shapes, you can use lines, you can do whatever you want, but it has to be a pattern that repeats. So the same thing all the way across. And then you want to change it up on the next row. So each row has its own unique pattern. So I just did simple vertical lines on the orange and circles on my pink. Maybe on this one I just want to do the letter X, and I can color in one half and color in the other half, and that can be this simple design that I do on all the pinks going across. Maybe on the yellow I can just do a simple star. Doesn't have to be complicated. So again, I'm going to do the same design all the way across to make the pattern. So at the end, your kente cloth has lots of meaning and designs and, most importantly, pattern. So the people of Ghana, the Asante and the U people, create beautiful cloths called kente cloth in West Africa. And the word kente comes from kenten, which means basket. I hope you enjoyed your trip to Africa with me and creating your kente cloth. See you later.